Hello everyone, let's start the lesson on citing and referencing. This is the part 2 on the APA style. We will begin with referencing online sources and then move on to additional formatting rules of the APA style. We will then have the practice and quiz in the end to check our learning. Now let's begin with the APA rules for referencing online sources. These are common types of online sources in academic settings, such as online periodicals, electronic books, abstracts, and so on. Let's start with online periodicals and websites. When referencing an online journal article, for example, add a DOI number. DOI is the digital object identifier assigned by the publisher to a published article available electronically. If no DOI is assigned, include the retrieval information instead. The retrieval information should also be included for articles found on websites, with the date specified. Next, when referencing an electronic book or a chapter of an online book, the retrieval information is also required as shown in the examples, while page numbers are optional. The third type of online source is abstracts. When referencing abstracts where full texts are also available, add abstract in brackets after the article or source name. Otherwise, an abstract database should be referred to as a secondary source, which is specified at the end along with the assigned accession number. Similarly, when referencing dissertations or theses from a database, the retrieval information and the AAT number assigned to the source should be included in the end. Next, when referencing graphic data, the same author date rule applies, but the title of the source is also the title of the graphic data, and the type of graph is specified in brackets, followed by the retrieval information as the example shows. Likewise, when referencing online lecture notes or presentation slides, provide the file format in brackets after the title of the source, followed by the retrieval information. Finally, when referencing podcasts, we should provide as much information as possible, such as producer, director, or episode, aside from the required information including the date and the title of the source and the retrieval information. Next, let's go through the additional formatting rules of the APA style. First of all, when citing two or more works by different authors, we should order the authors alphabetically as they would appear in the reference list, and separate the works with semicolons, but for works by the same author, we use commas to separate them. Then on the reference list, the general rule for up to 7 authors is to use periods and commas to separate the authors and place the ampersand between the last two authors. But for 8 or more authors, list the first 6 authors and insert 3 ellipses afterwards, followed by the last author. If it's an organization, use the name of the organization. Next, the APA style uses the author date rule, but what if the date and author are unknown? In this case, use the title of the source instead of the author and put ND for no date. If the work is still in press, put in press after the author with a comma in the middle. Finally, if we cite more than one published works in the same year by the same author, assign a letter suffix A, B, or C to the year as shown in the example. The same rules apply to the reference list, but when referencing more than one published works in the same year by the same author, the sources have to be organized alphabetically by title without A or the if it is the first word of the title. Now let's practice what we have learned. For practice 1, complete the reference of an online article with the information provided. To complete, we need the author's last name with the comma, followed by the year, month, date in the parentheses, and the phrase retrieved from before the retrieval information. For practice 2, complete the citation with all the author date information provided. In the citation of multiple works and authors, we need to organize the authors' last names alphabetically, separate works by the name author with commas, and put semicolons after the year between works by different authors. Now let's check how much we've learned. Quiz 1. Which of the following is often required when referencing online sources? The answer is the retrieval information. File format is for lecture notes or presentation slides. Database accession numbers are for abstracts from a database, and page numbers are optional. Quiz 2. Check the accurate author date references. The answers are the second and the last references. The other two are inaccurate, both due to inaccurate uses of punctuations. Now let's review our lesson on the part 2 of the APA style for citing and referencing. These are common types of online sources, and the retrieval information is required for referencing. And these are formatting rules for referencing in addition to the basic author date rule of the APA style. Thanks for joining us for the lesson. This online course is funded by the Ministry of Education.